Brendan DuPont of Calgary.
It's Michael Misa on the power play with a move. Wassler the shot, scores!
For the hat trick, McKenna, he scores. Roll the highlight reel.
Schaefer with a shot, scores! Matthew Schaefer.
A lot of the focus, at least at number one early on, has been on James Hagan.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Brady Films Prospects podcast. Episode 9 here. It's been a while, but we got a huge episode. We got some USA Hockey Nationals talk. Went down last weekend. We're going to get right into it. The 2011 division was pretty crazy, actually. Number 3, Islanders Hockey Club ended up winning it all, going 5-1 in the tournament. They actually upset Little Caesars, the number 1 team, 3-2 in the finals. So they're the best 2011 team in the states. We'll get into the points here, Ryan, if you want to talk about some of the top 2011s at Nationals.
Yeah, a lot of talent here. I mean, I feel like Nationals is kind of the first time where you get to take a really good look at like the top kind of whatever age groups this year's 2011s, like the first, big year for the 20 and big event. Oh,
your dog.
Oh,
Ryan's dog wants some action.
Yeah, someone's probably outside. Sorry if you can't hear me. We're just gonna keep flowing though, right?
I think the biggest thing was Dryston Thomas.
He's a stud. Obviously him leading in points, and then obviously like we've talked about the mid Fairfield guys. They're there. Another kid who kind of catches my eye right away is Owen Moulton. He's in talk to be one of the best 2011s in the States for sure. Minnesota kid, 12 points in 6 games. He was really good all week. But yeah, Dryston Thomas coming in at first, 14 points, 6 games, and then 2 guys from the Islanders, Chris Welby and Mason McGovern, are 2 other guys who obviously were probably a pretty big part in them winning.
Yeah.
So tons of talent on this list. I mean, the 13 only division does it a bit different, where they don't really have brackets. It's kind of you play like 6 games, and then whoever has kind of the best record plays the championship.
Yeah. Well, shout out to the Islanders Hockey Club on winning, and big 3-2 win against Caesars in the final. So congrats to you guys. We'll get into it. 2010 division, I think, might have been the most exciting division for me to watch.
Crazy stuff.
Minnesota Blue Ox. I don't even know if it's an upset because they haven't played all year, but
this is the thing. We've talked about this before. So this is basically the Moorhead Bantam AA team. It's not the exact, but it's like it kind of is. I don't know the exact number, but I know they've got maybe like 7 or 8 kids, I think. So we've been saying how you want them to play Caesars, and then they come and they play Caesars in a thriller, and they win. I mean,
yeah. So I think Minnesota Blue Ox is now the number 1 team in the States.
They went undefeated all year.
Undefeated all year. They never lost a game. And everyone, when we posted Little Caesars was the best team in the States for 2010, everyone was in the comments, get them to play Moorhead, get them to play, come down to Minnesota, play Bantam AA. Minnesota Blue Ox came in the tourney, led by Joey Cullen.
Yep.
With a great win in the semis over number 1 Little Caesars. And then even more impressive, in the finals against Minutemen Flames, they were down, I think it was 3-1 at one point. Joey Cullen got a hattie and brought them back to win the national championship. So the best team in 2010.
So, I mean, not to give myself any credit here, but I was watching the game live, and I was with a few people, a few coaches, actually. And we were watching the game, and I was like, listen, this kid's going to score the OT winner. He has 2 tucks already. He's going to score the OT winner. 2 minutes later, he puts some kid in a blender, rips the puck, scores OT winner. And I look at them, I'm like, what'd I tell you? And they're like, yeah, you're right. Whatever. So great tournament for Minnesota Blue Ox. Congrats to all of them. We'll get into the points here. Obviously, this list is just so much talent. Pretty much every kid on this list is super good. Cameron Evans led the tourney, 13 points,
5 games played, 6 goals, 7 assists. Shattuck had a great tourney. Unfortunate loss to Minutemen, but still a great tourney. In second, we got Parker Colmer, another kid who's been really good for Shattuck all year long. He had 12 points, 5 goals, 5 games played, 8 goals, 4 assists. So great tournament for him.
Moving forward some more, we've got Joey Cullen. I mean, look, we've got to talk about this kid. He's been in talks a lot all year long about this kid's good, this kid's good. I think that this tournament, he kind of proved that he's number one in the U.S. He came in and his stats from this year are absurd. He had 151 points in 51 games for Moorhead Band AA, which is just some crazy numbers. He was plus 127 on the year. So this kid's a guy who I think we could kind of officially call him number one 2010 in the U.S. He was unbelievable all tournament. Like I said, hat trick in the championship, kind of just topped it off. All 3 goals too were ridiculous, right? We're gonna take a look at them here in a second, but like all 3 goals were snipes. They're all nasty. So if you want to kind of pull that up.
Yeah, I mean, first we should probably go down the list a little more. I just want one kid I want to talk about is Aiden Kelly before we show Joey's goals here. But Aiden Kelly and the Little Caesars, great year for them. I mean, they only lost, I think it was 3 games all year. 2 of those were to Canadian teams. One was they didn't lose in America all till Minnesota Blue Hawks took them down in the semis. But so great year for them. Aiden Kelly, 5 games played, 5 goals, 5 assists for 10 points. Colin Kennedy, 5 games played, 9 goals, 2 assists. So he led the tournament in goals.
Yeah, he was unreal. He scored. I feel like it was like every game. I feel like he was scoring.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll show you guys some of Cullen's highlights in the finals. This is the first goal of the game he scored. Top shelf. Do you know who those kids are behind the glass? Are those
I got no idea, but every game this kid has scored like some nasty goals. There's like a fan club. I guess that's probably just like siblings, because him and a few of the other Moorhead guys they all have older siblings on the Moorhead High School.
What a
So I don't know if that's who those kids are, but I mean he's selling with them all day. But like you could just see here, puts that kid in a blender and then.
What a snipe to win the game. That's electric.
Hockey play, but credit USA Hockey TV for the footage. So
yeah, awesome game for them. Finals, congrats to them. Big win, national champs. Last division we're going to be talking about, 2009 division. This one was pretty exciting actually. Mount ended up winning, but Mount, we got to talk with Rocco Pelosi and some of the teammates and just back-to-back champs. I mean, what else can you say? They're the best team in the States. Great tourney. They ended up losing their first game of the round robin to the Gulls. Bit of an upset there, and they just bounced back and went undefeated from there.
yeah.
Beat Little Caesars, and then crazy game against the Reapers. They went up 3-0. Chicago came back, tied it up 4-4, sent it into OT, and then Jakob scored OT winner. Just a great tournament, though. I kind of can't believe Shattuck loses that game, though, to the Gulls in the quarterfinal.
I mean, I'm kind of like looking at this here, and I mean, we have kind of every game here is kind of ironic. I mean, Mount's playing the team that kicked them out of regionals, right? Caesars versus St. Louis. I mean, not really much there, but Landon Jackman's playing against his old team, which is kind of ironic. And then here we have Chicago versus Chicago playing against each other. Then, I mean, Gulls and Shattuck it is what it is, but definitely an upset there. I mean, but credit to the Gulls guys. They had a pretty unreal tournament. They obviously getting all the way to semis, and then, they ran into a hot Reapers team, which I still can't believe that game. I mean, OT thriller for back-to-back years for Mount to win it in OT with a national championship's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. When we talked to the Mount guys, I forgot to ask them, has there been a Mount team that's won it back-to-back years? Or were they the first?
Mount just started. So we talked to Brody Berard, Rocco Pelosi, and then momentarily we talked to Braden Willis until we had some mishaps. But Brody's first year, he talks about kind of his journey playing for Mount, and his first year U14 is the first year. Well, Mount started in the 1920 season, right before COVID. Was when they kind of
Oh, so it's like their 5th season ever then.
Yeah, so it's like their 5th year. So they're still a very new program, but I don't believe there's been, for the same birth year at least, back to back national
That's
champions.
just so hard to do, especially coming into the tournament knowing that like you're the team to beat there. You're the defending champs. You know, everyone's gonna want to beat you. Everyone's gonna give you their best game, and just a great tournament for them. But yeah, I guess right now we're gonna send it over to the Mount 2009 boys, and they're gonna talk to us about their tourney.
Yeah, it was a great interview. So
yeah,
enjoy. All right, guys, we're here at the Mount St. Charles U15 team, national champions of the 15 division this year. Also won it last year. So Rocco, you want to talk a little bit about kind of going into the tournament this year as defending champs and kind of the pressure that came with that for you guys?
Yeah. Well, we won last year, obviously, so we knew heading into the season we were going to have a target on our back. But we kind of love that. We fed off of that all year. We think pressure makes diamonds, and that's something our trainer Rod talked about all the time. Who's going to shine the brightest when the lights are the brightest. So that's something we kind of fed off all year, and we loved it. We loved having the target on our backs, and we knew it wasn't going to be easy, but everybody came through the right times, and we ended up winning again, which was awesome.
So you guys started the tournament with a loss to Long Island. Obviously not a good way to start the tournament, but how did you guys regroup and bounce back from that loss early in the tourney?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely I think it's the best thing that could happen to us, honestly, because I think we came in a bit too confident, and coming off a regional loss too. I think we thought we were going to come out and just smoke those guys and start hot, but we didn't. And then every game after that was a must-win game, right? I think when you have to win and the pressure's on, I think that's when the big players play their best. And when it's must-win hockey and the season's on the line, with especially the group that we had, we didn't want to end on game 2. So I think losing that game was the best thing that happened to us, to be honest.
Next 2 games were round robin. Obviously, you just said must-win games. So a bit of pressure. You guys played a really strong Boston Junior Eagles team, 7th ranked in the country. You guys won 4-1, and then after that, North Jersey Avalanche, you guys won 11-3. So was there a bit of pressure on both those games just to make the quarterfinals, and how'd those games go?
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of pressure on us, especially since we won last year. Defending champs getting bounced in round robin, that wouldn't be a great look. But we've seen the Eagles before. We played them 5 times last year and twice this year, and I think we had a 4-2-1 record against them. So we knew how they played, and we grew up playing with a bunch of those kids. So it kind of meant a lot to us to win that game, beating our buddies and keeping our season alive. And then heading into that Avalanche game, we saw that they were having a great tournament so far. They were 2-0 heading into our game, and then I mean, after the first period it was 2-2, so we knew we had to bring something out, and then we ended up winning 11-3, which was huge for us, and we ended up kicking them out of the tournament. And yeah, I think that was pretty awesome for us. It gave us a nice confidence boost heading into the quarterfinals.
For you guys, obviously you played, I mean, your round robin was full of teams from the East Coast, and a bunch of guys on probably all 3 teams you played against. I mean, I know goals are in your league. So for you guys, going to those games, was it more of, we know what we can do here, or was it you never know kind of feeling? Obviously it's nationals and anyone could win. And I mean, it kind of shows, right? The first game was not really the way you guys were hoping. So going to those games, was it more of we've seen these guys before, we know what they're doing, or what would the thought process kind of go into those games?
I mean, yeah, I think when you play a team so many times over the years, and especially the past year, with the NEPAC League, we obviously see a lot of those East Coast teams a lot. I think it can help you and it can hurt you, right? I mean, we've never lost to the Gulls, I think, at all in the past 2 years. So, going into that game, I feel like we were a bit too confident, right? And we lost, right? So, but I think after that loss, and seeing all these other teams that we play, I think, it helped us, right? Because I think we knew we had to take everything serious, from the video sessions to warm-ups to everything was a step more serious. So I think it helped us in that way to realize like our season's on the line and we've seen these guys before and we know what we can do.
Yeah. So moving into the quarterfinals, big game against Mid Fairfield, who was 3-0 in their round robin. And I know they beat you guys earlier in the season to make natties. So was it kind of like revenge on them to beat them to make the semis? And how was that game?
Yeah, that was an awesome game. We've played them so many times over the past 2 years, and they took our auto bid away from making nationals. So I think if we won that game, we would have been first seed in nationals. So it kind of was a special game for us. Knocked them out of the tournament because they knocked us out for regionals. But yeah, we knew what we had to do. We showed up to the rink, we took care of business, and then we just got ready for our next game.
Awesome. Yeah, it was a close game because what was the score when they beat you guys to go to natties for them?
It's 3-2 in overtime.
Oh, so a close game there. And then semis, Ryan, if you want to talk about the semi game.
Yeah, I mean, semis, obviously you guys played Caesars, and I remember I was kind of busy and I looked at my phone and I saw I was tied. Right? Was it tied going into like around the third period?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like we got a game here. So for you guys, what was it like kind of when you found out you're playing against them? I mean, you guys are ranked 2, right? Going into the tournament? Yeah, so obviously 2 against 3. Like, what was it kind of the feeling going to that game? And then obviously you guys ended up with the win. What was that experience like?
I mean, personally, I was pretty nervous going into that game. I don't know about everyone else, but I felt confident, but at the same time, we never played him before, so I didn't know if I didn't really know what to expect coming from him. So, we did video the night before the game, and it was a good video session to see what they're about. And I heard about a lot of him, but I mean, you don't really know until you actually get on the ice and start playing against him. So when we got on the ice, I mean, they were what everyone said they were, a skilled, hard-nosed team, right? And like you said, it was tied going in to that third period. So we had a game on our hands there. And I think, when you're in a tight game like that, you got to stay loose, right? You not get too tight, especially a team that you never played. You want to make sure you stay confident and stuff. So we know how to finish games, though. That's one thing I give us credit for is we can really 2-2 game. We can score a goal and defend. So I think that's what we did, obviously, and I think we did a really good job doing it.
Yeah, obviously big win there. Then moving into the finals against the Reapers, you guys went up 3-0 pretty quick into the game, right? What can you guys say about that quick start off in the finals?
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing for us because we were preaching all tournament. We were preaching quick starts and getting the lead on teams early. That's one thing we struggled with all year is good starts. So I think that was huge for us. And we were up 3-0 7 minutes into the game. That's probably the best start you could have asked for. They took a timeout right after that third goal, and we knew they were going to throw everything back at us. And after that first shift, after the timeout, they actually ended up scoring. So we knew the game was going to be a battle from there on out. And they ended up tying it 4-4, and the rest, Brody could take the rest.
Yeah, well, I just kind of want to ask, like, when they tied it up 4-4, is it like, what are the feelings on the bench, knowing now the game could possibly go into overtime? And then when it did go into overtime, what was everyone feeling like, knowing you're going to be playing in an overtime in the natty finals?
I mean, yeah, it kind of explains some national championship game, right? Tied 4-4. I think when they tied it up 4-4, it was good. I think I felt like we were in a good spot for what it was. We locked down on the defensive side of the ice, and went into overtime going 4-4. We went in the locker room. We stayed loose, right? Like I said, you want to get tight in those situations and get overstressed and overthink them. So in between locker room, we're cracking jokes, staying loose. It's where we were before, and I think us going to overtime last year, we really had a big edge on them. And Yeah, I mean, we went into overtime, kept it simple, defense first, and then I drew that penalty there, and our power play had struggles all year, so it was kind of a time where we need those struggles to end, right? I mean, national championship overtime, and we set it up. They got a whistle, and then we set it back up again, and Rocco wins that battle there, center ice, turnover, and Jakob just rips it top glove, and we win.
Yeah. So how special is that to do it back to back too, with the same group 2 years in a row? And then I think last year, right, you guys won in overtime as well against Shattuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 OT wins back to back in Natty Champs. How special is that to do it with your group?
I mean, it's awesome. I think I could speak for everybody from both years. Like that's going to be a day to remember for the rest of our lives. I mean, just look at everybody's faces, and we've been through a lot together, from kids leaving, from coaching changes, from everything. I mean, it was awesome to be able to share that experience with everybody.
Yeah, well, congrats on the win. I mean, Ryan, is there anything else from you, or?
Yeah, I got 2 questions. One, I think that one guy we gotta talk about, Stephen Cover, like led the tournament in scoring. He was, I think, one guy who had a really big tournament. Obviously today just signed with Madison, tender in the USHL. So if you guys want to talk a bit about kind of him and how big he was this weekend for you guys.
I mean, yeah, he's a great kid, great teammate, I mean, from top to bottom, he's kind of just a good player with just what you want on your team, right? I mean, he had a good season, put up points, scored, everything. But this Nationals run, similar to last year, right? I mean, he kind of just took it over and had the tournament of his life again, right? I think we don't win without him, and he was really, really big part of our success, at least on the scoreboard and in the locker room and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's one guy who I think we had to kind of shed some light on. And then obviously, Brody, for you, obviously I know that your family's pretty big with Mount, and you've been there for 3 years. Kind of what has that been like for you? Obviously winning 2 national championships and your first year kind of playing up with those guys. What was your career at Mount been like?
Yeah, I mean, starting off with my year, I played up at the 08s. We lost in the quarterfinals to the Pens in the national championships. So that was a good learning experience with those older guys, what that national tournament was about. And I had a pretty good tournament myself. So coming into my 14 year with the 09s, I felt pretty good, right? I think our team was in a good spot. We were favored to win. We came in as the number 1 seed. I battled some injuries throughout that tournament, and other players really stepped up. I think, Rock, Jakob, Junior Gilberto, all guys like that, Cover, everyone stepped up. And I think when it comes down to it, it's the team that wants it most, right? Yeah. And I mean, you watch that MS Films tape of us winning that national championship. I mean, the guys were laying down blocking shots that don't need to be blocking shots. I think Rocco's the best player in the country, and he's laying down, putting his body in the line, blocking shots. And I mean, I think that speaks for itself with how bad you really want to win. And I think this year, again, coming back as number 1 favorites, it's just who wants it, right? And I think, in the end of the day, the team that does everything right and wants the most wins. So I think that's how it really went down.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming on, and congrats on the win.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, great interview there. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Just getting really, really in depth on their tourney and how special that group is to go back to back and win natties. But we'll get into the points here. Wrong one.
Sorry.
Here we go. So yeah, Cover led the tourney. 6 games played, 9 goals for Mount, 6 assists, 15 points. Another kid I want to talk about is Rylan Rooney. I think he's from Minnesota, right?
Minnesota kid. He actually is what he does is kind of unique. He played the first quarter of the year with the goals, and then went back to Minnesota, played his high school season, and then joined the goals again after his high school season for their playoff runs and nationals.
Yeah, right? A very good player. I actually got to watch him play. We watched him play in Philly with the Blades.
Yeah,
5 games played, 7 goals, 7 assists, for 14 points in the tourney. Another kid, Tyler Cooper, who kind of led the way for the Reapers, especially in the finals. He had a really good game. He finished the tourney, 6 games played, 9 goals, 3 assists. And then Rocco Pelosi, 6 games played, 8 goals, 4 assists for 12 points. Yeah. Just a great tournament for the Mount guys. And anyone you want to touch on here, Ryan?
Not really. I mean, all these guys on this list are obviously, super talented. Brooks DeMars is also another Minnesota kid. I don't believe that he went back and played high school. I'm pretty sure he was with the Goals all year. But, Junior Gualberto, Rocco, and Scuderi, all, have been huge for Mount all year and were big in the tournament. And then Daniel Boone, I think that's how you say his name. He had a 5-point game, actually, when they beat Shattuck. I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was versus Shattuck. It might not have been, but I'm pretty certain it was versus Shattuck. So he was huge in kind of that win for the Goals. And then Finkenkeller and Kaczynski also. I think that's his name. Say his name, Kaczynski. You think?
Yeah, Mid-Fairfield. They just great end to their year, to be honest. Like, very strong playoffs. They went undefeated in round robin play at Natty's. Really strong team. Obviously an unfortunate loss to Mount, but Mount got their revenge on them from beating them in the regional. And 2009 age group was a fun one. But that pretty much concludes our national talk. Great tourney. It was fun to I was in Ottawa, but it was fun to check my phone every once in a while and see. Just a great tourney.
Yeah. But, in the next few weeks, we'll have the NTDP roster comes out, and then we got the Telus Cup coming up for UH.
OHL draft. You guys are seeing this on Tuesday. We got OHL draft is Saturday, I think. So we're hoping next Tuesday will be an episode out. We'll get some of the OHL guys on talk about their year, what it was like, and then obviously talk about the draft and all of that stuff. But before we go, we want you guys to send us some clips here. We want to react to some clips of you guys, top goals, big hits, maybe greatest hits.
Me and Brady have been very busy. We've got some stuff going on, but for now on, we're going to be more consistent.
We're going to get an episode out.
It's the end of the year now, so we're not as busy with stuff going on, and we're going to do it for the people.
This episode, great episode. We got to talk about the Natties, got to, see Mount and their big win with 2009, got to hear about their tournament. But send us your clips. We want to see big goals, big hits, big assists. We're going to be picking a couple to react to, I guess, every episode. So just DM it to us on Brady Films Prospects Pod on Instagram. And we're going to pick the best 2 and react to it.
Hey, shout out Quetch, right, Brady?
Yeah. And then we're going to go, I guess, get some guys from the OHL draft next week for that episode. So stay tuned for that episode. We're going to be talking about the first overall pick to the Pete's, whoever that is, how his season was, maybe a couple other picks, talk about the draft.
After that, we've got the possibility. I'll be in Philadelphia for WSI. Brady is kind of 50-50 right now. We don't really know yet.
I'm gonna try my best to get there.
He's gonna try his best to get there, and if that does happen and the stars align, we may have some in-person podcasts coming to you soon with some big guests.
That would be cool. But before we wrap up this episode here, what are we going with? Oranges?
Do we do a fruit or do we do a food?
Yeah, I like a food. What emoji, Ryan? It's up to you.
Maybe like a steak. Let me take. I'm feeling a steak.
Every episode, at the end of every episode, the first 3 people to send us this emoji will get follows back on our Instagram or TikTok, whatever one you want. But
if you are currently viewing the podcast on YouTube, this emoji is ideal. We've got a porterhouse right here, steak.
Yeah, so send us a steak emoji if you have made it this far to the episode. Thank you, everyone, for our support. We've been really busy, but we're at now over 10,000 followers on TikTok.
Thank you to the people.
Shout out to you guys. And I think we're at like 4,000 on Instagram, so 3,000. I don't know.
I think 5. But yeah,
5,000. That's crazy.
I don't know what we're at. I'm making numbers up. But yeah, send us a steak. I myself am a steakologist, so I will appreciate the DMs.
And you got to fall back if you're quick.
It's got to be quick.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. And shout out. Hopefully next Tuesday or Wednesday will be the OHL draft recap episode, and we'll have some special guests on from Ontario for that one. But thank you guys for listening.
Thank
and we'll see you guys next week.
God bless.
Have a great day, everyone.